Hello everybody and welcome back once again to Let's Play Stainless Steel, the Portuguese campaign. And last time we left off, we had to pick ourselves up, we had to dust ourselves down. We lost a load of troops due to the fact that King Enrique left the crusade prematurely. The devout followers of the crusading army decided to find another crusading army, and therefore they abandoned ship, left King Enrique on his own, and in the process we lost several thousand men. However, last time we left off, we did indeed commence Operation Recruitment. We recruited as fast as we could. All hands to the pump it was, and by the end of affairs we ended up once again effectively with a full stack army. King Enrique is now once again taken to the field, and he is baying for some Moorish blood. Seville, several years ago, was bribed away from us. It's standing there like a ripe plum, ready to be picked from a tree, and therefore, post-haste, King Enrique will be marching his way down there. And if this poxy army, led by a mere captain, wants to stick its nose into our affairs, King Enrique is confident he will just take them down like the dogs that they are. So without further ado, let's see if all goes according to plan. Everything was done and dusted at the end of the last session. All building work was done. All units were recruited. So this is it. We start the session with an end turn phase. Let's see what excitement happens. Here we go. Uh-oh. That's not a good sign. I want to speed proceedings up slightly. Ah, here they come. Leon got a truce with the Moors last time, which is a rather bitter blow for us. It means we are now fighting pretty much alone, because Aragon doesn't seem to have done anything to hinder the Moorish progress. Right. Spread the word of the Lord. The Algarve needs to see the light of Catholicism, apparently. They shall see the light, and I deem it ready. Hostilities cease. Go away with your damn messages. Right, the biggest worry I have right now is this Moorish diplomat who seems to have some modicum of skill as marching. Well, I say marching, he's not an army, but he's just kind of meandering, walking so steadily and assuredly down to Lisbon, which is only defended by a bunch of peasants, no less, and therefore I have got a feeling he's going to try and bribe it over to the Moorish side. I don't know what we can do to stop it. I don't know how. I don't know if you actually, if we put the king in this settlement and load it up with a load of troops, if it would make it more difficult to bribe. What is the bribing difficulty? What determines how difficult a settlement is to bribe? I do think having a family leader with some high loyalty would really help.
Orders?
I'm quite in fact, you know what? To counteract this, I'm going to take forth Prince Afonso, whose loyalty isn't marvellous, but it's above 50%. It's six loyalty. So having the family member in here might make this settlement harder to bribe. If he manages to bribe our son then God help us all. In the meantime, Oporto, let's just have a look at some of the recruitment. I'm going to go for a brothel in the castle. Again, it will allow us to produce another spy if necessary. That should hopefully take us up to 3 spies, and we need as many spies as possible. We are at war with the Moors, and we need to be able to see as much as of their lands as possible, as much as their armies as possible. We need to be able to get the upper hand in terms of manoeuvrability, and we need eyes in the field to do that. So Oporto is recruiting and building. We've taken the prince down to Lisbon due to the fact that we heard on the grapevine that a diplomat of the Moors was kind of meandering down there, and we just got a feeling they're going to try some underhanded tactics. Meanwhile, the peasants move in, and therefore the town watch can move out. But I don't want to do that just yet because that will hinder the king's movements. And so, we got a choice to make. We have a choice to make here. Do we go for Seville? Which, rather unfortunately, we don't have any form of ballista or siege equipment, so we can't. We have to wait a turn to get siege equipment, which will then give the Moorish people an opportunity to reinforce, to come back. Should we take down these armies in the field first, before we take the castle? Taking the castle doesn't really give us anything. Yeah, it gives us a defensible position, I suppose, but it seems to me to be too risky.
Let me strike, my lord.
I will not waste words on you, infidel.
He can make it back in a turn.
Sibni Lawadi, infidel.
He can make it back in a turn, but that means we will have to attack us, and if he attacks us it would be a field battle, and
Yalla, my sultan wishes you dead.
We should have the upper hand. You know what? We're going to go for this.
My lord, should we spare any of them? We show little.
I will not waste words on you, infidel.
Right, so that's victory number 1.
Sibni Lawadi, infidel.
Kind of stuck
Name
now.
thy enemy, lord. We shall send them to hell or worse. March! Sooner or later, they will relent, my lord.
What we should have done actually is tried taking the spy in, perhaps, and see if he could have opened the gates. Can we get the spy in? No, we'd have to lift the siege. Oh, this is like balancing on a knife edge here. Right, well, we've laid siege. We've drawn first blood. The ball is in the court of the Moors. Are they going to try and attack the king? If they do, he's just going to slash, he's just going to hack, he's just going to go down in a blaze of glory if he has to. But we are taking back Seville, and we're going to take down as many Moors as we can in the process. Hinder their progress. They've besmirched us one too many times. They even dared to think we were beaten when we were downcast and ready to almost leave Portuguese lands in a bid to save ourselves. They could have finished us off, but no. Their contemptuous attitude, they thought we were finished and turned their armies this way, left us to regroup. We're going to punish him for that. Oh, we are. Right, quick.
My lord.
Quick.
Naturally, my lord.
Quick.
On my
Keep
way.
moving.
Today's journey ends.
Good old Sancha de Portugal. She's moving.
Very well.
Ooh,
Happily, my lord.
towards the Norwegians.
Royalty needs its rest, my lord.
She's now aged 31. I'm sure she's itching for a marriage. A couple of suitors have been turned away at the doors. Such peaceful music for such a tumultuous time. So ironic, I suppose. Right, I think we're done. Let's end the turn again. The king is 55. We have to make use of him whilst we've still got him. He's not long for this world. I think he still has pneumonia. He's had it for several years, but he's soldiering on. He's soldiering on. Will not be beaten by Moors. Will not be beaten by illness. The only thing that's going to beat this man is Father Time. Right, this is a moment of truth. Are they going to try and lift this siege through force, or are they going to run in fear? No, they're going to lift the siege by force. No, they're not. Actually, they're just going to No, no. Please God, no. Oh boy. Right. Right. Things are kicking off here, boys and girls. They are kicking off royally. We shall continue to recruit as many men as quickly as possible in the off chance that we need them to reinforce our mighty king. I don't know if he tried to bribe Lisbon or not, but Lisbon still stands. Prince Afonso. It will not be swayed, it will not be bent, bowed or buckled by coin. France at war with the Holy Romans. Concordat of Worms. Agreement between the Pope Calixtus and the Holy Roman Emperor near the city of Worms. Very good. Okay.
Yes, Lord. Investigating without a trace.
Ah, we can get ballistas down here. This could be useful for our king's army eventually. Let's just get them ready and prepped, just in case. Right, okay, so the moment of truth has arisen here. The moment of truth is upon us.
Yes, very good, my lord.
Why have you blocked me off, you horrible man?
Naturally,
You
my lord.
no good, useless, cowardly people who have not assisted us in the slightest in our battle against the Moors. Oh,
Imshi, infidel, or face the might of Islam.
oh, that's quite dare, that's quite dare. Frightening sight. Another full stacker right there, waiting to perhaps come forth. We need to act now.
Name thy enemy, Lord.
If we take the castle, I don't think all of these armies are going to reinforce. I could be wrong.
Let me strike, my lord.
Let's just have a look.
My lord, should we spare any of them?
I forgot to build siege equipment. You idiot. Oh, good grief.
When shall we attack the walls then, my lord? Command me.
I think we need to act now. I don't think we can risk waiting any longer. Another turn and this army could come up.
The Sultan will be most pleased at your demise. We shall send them to hell or worse.
1,400 men.
I regret not trying to take the walls.
2,000 men. 374 men. The time is now.
No matter how they beg, let none escape. Attack! Units!
Alright, there's no time for speeches. This, by far, is going to be King Enrique's finest hour. Or could be his demise. We do not know. A lack of siege equipment left him vulnerable, and therefore he had no choice but to attack. Attack in the field. He is outnumbered, but that's not going to stop him. He's a winning man, used to victory. He has many battle scars. He's eager. All these things meant that it was a no-brainer. This is going to be his finest hour. Perhaps the turning point in the Portuguese fortunes. If we can win this by some minor miracle, if we can come out of this fight victorious, we will have dealt the Moors a massively crippling blow. Seville will be ripe for the picking, and it will be down to the Moors to counter. But we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, because that could well be a long, long way off. So the melee troops on the front line, I'm going to put the missile troops just in behind. The horses on the flank, as usual. I'll put this little piddly stack of horses right there in the middle. Fine, just leave them there. And the last set of horses on the left flank. And there we go.
The enemy have brought up more men. They hope to make up in numbers what they lack in bravery. Right,
I'm just going to pause it here so I can get myself into position, mainly because I really can't maneuver an entire army in this game like I can in other Total Wars. Get rid of the phone, for God's sake. Why does it always go off when I'm in the middle of a crucial situation? Right, we're going to move the melee troops forward. Meet them head on. They have a little bit of a hill advantage. I don't know if that takes effect. We're going to move the missile troops up in behind to support. I know in Shogun onwards, I think maybe having the uphill advantage did work to your favour, but not so sure in this version. Horses coming around to flank, of course. And there we go. Now, of course, their army is split into three. This is their medium-sized force that we are facing ahead of us. They have their larger force coming up to support to their rear, and we have their very small contingent just coming in from behind. Our best bet is to take them down one at a time. Take this army down as quickly as possible here, and then make our move on the others. So we're just going to walk our troops in, preserve their energy. We're going to take the missile troops off fire at will. We do not want them firing at our own men at this moment in time. Plus we have the we have an advantage of numbers against this army, so we don't need to use our skirmishers at this moment in time. The skirmishers will come into effect possibly in the next phase of the battle. They're charging us. You've got to give them credit, they're charging us here. Will it be good enough? I'm going to take the king out. Take the horses out wide and see if we can get some flanking action going. Right, we've got them pinned in here. Let's get the flanks, let's get the flanks.
It's unwise to praise the day before sunset.
This is
but our men are winning the battle
vital.
And forging a worthy victory.
They're routing already. They're routing already. We need to get this army mopped up as quickly as possible. The king is on the move. There we go, crashing in and taking down some troops, but get out, pull back, pull back. We have got Nubian spears coming in. Let's go, let's go, let's go into the backs of the second set of Bedouin infantry. In we go. Well, the king has well and truly mopped up this army in very quick order. We don't want our troops to break lines too much, but we don't want the enemies to be able to reinforce and regroup, so we have to run them down with our horses. We do not want them coming back to haunt us. Come on, horses! What are you doing stood up on the hill doing nothing? Gawping! The king has to run down some of these men.
The Lord
They
above is
will
kind.
return.
We have captured. The enemy general has no honor.
There we go. Into the
He
backs.
flees the field
Into
of
the
battle
backs.
and abandons
And that-
only half the enemy force
That is the
remains.
finishing blow for these guys. They are turning and running. That is the entire first army dealt with. For minimal losses, it must be said, a very good start to affairs here. Right, let's pull back, let's pull back. The second army, the larger force, is getting nearer. Stop these men running. We don't want them running too far. We're going to have to regroup. We have a second army on the move towards us. We're going to have to regroup. Just try and pounce on these as they run past. Right, let's get regrouped here. So we've got a bit of a hill here. So if we spread our men across here, we have a slight hill advantage if it indeed does take effect. So pulling back to the hill.
Wise to praise the day before sunset, but our men are winning the battle and forging a worthy victory.
Pulling the infantry troops and the missile troops back to the hill to receive the second army. Just trying with our horses to mop up as many of the former army as possible. But a lone group of horses that had absolutely just been left hung out to dry.
Praise the Almighty! Our enemy has lost his stomach to fight. We must push our advantage.
Right. God, there's just so much to keep track of here. This is madness. Having to regroup and run down the enemy. These guys will need to be run down. They are behind our lines at this moment in time. We do not want them regrouping behind us. Meanwhile, the rest of the army is regrouping, reforming on the hill, ready to receive the second wave. Right, let's take these guys down. Come on, let's get rid of them. Let's get rid of them. They're behind us. They're quite numerous. If they regroup...
The battle is in our favor. If we remain true and wholehearted, victory will be ours.
They will be in a dangerous position. Right, let's bring the army, let's bring the horses across. Let's bring the armies back to let's bring the horses back to the flanks. We've got a very small contingent coming towards our right flank here. Just have to ensure that we don't get too headstrong. They're only missile troops, so we're going to turn back on fire at will for our missile troops and have a bit of a skirmish. We have greater number, so should win that fight, and it looks as if our horses have mopped up those spears in quick order. Let's bring them back to the left flank, ready to receive new orders. Such dramatic music for such a dramatic occasion. Round one goes to the Portuguese, but there's still plenty of work to do. I think maybe we're winning this skirmish, but we do have horses on our right flank which we can use to mop them up even quicker. They do have spears, of course, we've just got to be careful. But their spears are charging. Oh, look at that! Peppered in numbers. I'm going to turn off fire at will for now. Conserve our ammunition for the final wave that will be coming. They're getting nearer. Right, let's mop this small force up as quickly as possible. Here come the horses to take down the Lusitanian javelin men.
It is unwise to... Our men have slain the Saracen general. Now we must praise the... Only half the enemy force
And then we're going to go
remains.
into the backs of the spears. Right, there's nobody behind us. Just double checking there. Nobody behind us to cause us any grief. Right, I think we've dealt with this small force as well as we're going to do. Maybe just try and pick off a few more spears. Of course, any men left standing, any men that make it out of the field of battle will be no doubt running to the Seville castle. So we want to take down as many as possible. Come on, run them down! Run them down! That army is getting closer. It's almost time. You can just imagine the tension in the troops. They can see the enemy coming upon them. The king, no doubt, giving some kind of a speech to those nearby. Camels. Camels usually do pretty well against horses. We're going to have to be careful against them. Okay, we're under attack. We're going to turn back on fire at will. The enemy are skirmishing now. They've got quite a large number of skirmishers by the looks of it. They've got skirmishing horses, desert cavalry, desert archers. Oh, look at this! It's raining arrows, baby! Hallelujah! Wiped out that cavalry unit in very quick order. Right, quickly, see if we can sneak in here. Let's see if with our left flank horses can we sneak in and take down these peasant crossbowmen before their main army gets towards the front lines here. Let's just see the tooting of the horns. Here we go! Run them through! That's not bad. Oh, they've got ballista, firing ballista at us. Come on, pull back, horses. Pull back.
The battle is in our
They've got ballista.
favor.
They've got.
If we remain true and wholehearted, victory will be ours.
Okay, just don't hit my king, whatever you do. Do not hit my king. Thankfully, it's just ballista and not flaming balls of fire. Right, the army's getting closer. The army's getting closer. We're almost here. It's almost time to meet. This is it. This is it. This is do or die time. They're moving in. Come on. We can envelop them as a little bit. They're all sort of bunching in the centre. Bedouin infantry, some spears on the right flank. We should win that one. We've got the camels have been intercepted by some of our spearmen. Let's get the general in there. Let's get the king in there. His high authority usually has the enemy quaking in their boots. His influence, his authority usually has the enemy running for fear at the earliest sign of trouble. And look at that, the right flank is broken of the enemy. Let's bring our right flank and try to get round and flank their centre.
It is unwise to praise the day before sunset.
We've got the camels routing.
Are winning the battle.
The camels are on the
forging
move.
a worthy victory.
Spitting and hissing, no doubt. Come on, let's get in behind now. Let's get in behind the lines. Let's get in behind the lines. One charge, two charges with our horses into that blob, and it's game over. We're getting a little bit of slowdown here. We're getting a little bit of slowdown. There's so many dead bodies and arrows and everything on the field of battle. It's clogging it up. Right. Here we go. Here we go. Into the backs. Into the backs. They're routing. The centre is going. It's buckling. It's bending. As ballista fire rains over the general units. He's come forth as the king, and the enemies are fearing him. They're running. I cannot see what the hell is happening here. It's lots of stutter. They're gone. They're gone. They are going. They're running.
Only half
The horses and men
remain.
flying. Come on.
The enemy general has no honor. He flees the field of battle and abandons his men.
Oh, this is going to go down as King Enrique's finest victory. He was outnumbered. This is after suffering a massive blow, losing all his men. These are fresh troops recruited in haste. They have come together and they have crushed the Moors here today. this point now, it's just a mopping up operation. Preventing as many men from reaching Seville as possible. This is a glorious victory. King Enrique doesn't seem to be made for siege battles. He's made a few blunders in the couple that he's had, but when it comes to battles in the field, he is no slouch, it seems.
The enemy flees the battle. Run down those worthless peasants.
Oh yes, run down those peasants! Oh, this is such a glorious sight. I'm weeping with joy. It's only a crying shame that it's one turn per year, not one turn every 6 months, because we're going to lose our king in about 3, 4, 5 to 10 turns time. And I feel like we're just getting started with him. Mop them down, mop them up. Right, let's get these guys, and then we may call it quits at this point. Just a few stragglers. There we go. I think that'll do. I think that'll do, lads. I think that'll do. King Enrique is victorious. Look at the carnage. Let's just get one last set. One last bunch of men. That's right. Watch them fall.
By the Lord above, our foe has been much humbled. Let all who remember this day
500
remember
men
it as the
lost.
day of our most glorious victory.
And he's probably ended up killing 3,400.